Hello everyone. So today I'll be talking about the thyroid gland. What is the thyroid gland? What does it do? What are the thyroid hormones and what are its different functions? So the thyroid gland is an endocrine gland which is located in the front of the neck, just below the larynx or the Adam's apple. This is commonly seen somewhere within this region. So it is composed of two lobes, that is, we call it a right lobe and a left lobe, and it is joined by a strip of tissue called as an isthmus. And behind and below the thyroid glands are another set of glands that is called as the parathyroid glands, which basically produces a hormone called as parathormone, which is involved in regulation of calcium and phosphorus in the body. Thyroid hormones are nothing but a combination of iodine, which we get from the diet, and an amino acid known as tyrosine. So this iodine and tyrosine combine in different combinations to form the thyroid hormones. So basically there are two thyroid hormones, that is the tetraiodothyronine, also known as thyroxine or T4. There is the other hormone that is called as triiodothyronine or T3, which is comprised of three molecules of iodotyrosine. There is another important hormone involved in all this process that is known as the thyroid stimulating hormone, also known as TSH. So the TSH is a hormone produced from the pituitary gland, which is a gland located below the brain. And the TSH basically regulates all the processes which are involved in the formation of the thyroid hormones. So it basically stimulates the enzymes which are required to make these thyroid hormones T4 and T3. And this TSH and the T4 and T3 are regulated in a negative feedback manner. So this is to say that if the levels of T4 and T3 are low in your body, then the level of TSH starts to increase, and if the levels of the thyroid hormones T4 and T3 are high in your body, then the level of TSH starts to reduce. Basically, the thyroid hormones are, as I already mentioned, are regulators of metabolism and growth and energy utilization in different tissues, and virtually every organ and tissue in the body requires adequate amounts of the thyroid hormones to function. So what are the functions of these thyroid hormones? So the thyroid hormones are very important in when we look at the central nervous system. It regulates the blood flow to the brain, the cerebral blood flow. It is required for the development of myelin sheaths around the nervous system, known as myelination. And this is especially important in newborns and during the first two to 3 years of life in infants. So as you may be aware, low thyroid hormone or hypothyroidism is the most common cause of a preventable mental retardation. And that is the reason why we test for thyroid hormones in all newborns to prevent this easily correctable cause of a mental retardation. And thyroid hormones are also known to regulate mood and also regulates memory. And when we look at the cardiovascular system, it is important to regulate your heart rate. It regulates the cardiac output. It regulates the peripheral vascular resistance, that is the resistance in the blood vessel, which basically determines your blood pressure. It has actions on the respiratory system. It stimulates the respiratory centers to maintain adequate oxygenation to your lungs. It has actions on the gastrointestinal system. It regulates your bowel movements. It regulates gastric emptying. It is also important for maintaining gallbladder contractility, and alterations in the thyroid hormone can affect the liver functions also. Thyroid hormones also have important roles in the reproductive system. Thyroid hormone is very important for the normal progression of the pubertal processes. It has important roles in fertility, in regulating the menstrual cycles in females, and it has important role during pregnancy, and alteration in the thyroid hormone is a very common cause of miscarriages and also preterm delivery. Even in males, thyroid hormones are required to regulate the sexual function and sperm production, etc. The thyroid hormones are also very important for your peripheral tissues like the skin, the hairs, the nails. So alteration in the thyroid hormones are very common causes for hair fall, for brittle nails, for cold skin, for alterations in your body temperature, etc. Thyroid hormones also have important roles in your blood system, the hematopoietic system. They're important for the proliferation of blood cells, and B12 and folate deficiencies can be commonly associated with abnormalities in thyroid. So abnormalities in thyroid can cause anemia also, and thyroid hormones also are important for the normal function of the clotting mechanisms, and hence low thyroid hormone is commonly associated with formation of easy bruising and capillary fragility. And thyroid hormones are also important for the normal function of the skeletal muscles. It is basically leads to development of type 2 muscle fibers, which are fast acting muscle fibers, and they are very important for the proper maturation of bone. They are involved in the development of the epiphyseal centers in the bone. So abnormalities in thyroid hormone, especially low thyroid hormone, is commonly associated with poor height gain and growth in children. And thyroid hormone also has additive effect along with growth hormone to maintain normal growth in children. Thyroid hormones are also, as I mentioned, basically regulate the energy utilization in different tissues. So they are required for proper uptake of glucose into the skeletal muscles and the fat tissue. They are also required for breakdown of the fats or the lipids. They are required for appropriate synthesis of proteins or the anabolism of proteins. So abnormalities in thyroid hormone commonly causes abnormalities in your blood cholesterol levels, sometimes the blood glucose levels, and low or high thyroid hormone can cause abnormalities in your muscle mass also. So as we can see, thyroid hormone has actions in almost each and every tissue and cell in the body. It's a very, very important hormone, and it's basically the regulator of metabolism and growth in our body. So if you like the video, do share and subscribe. So I'll be back with other videos regarding other aspects of the thyroid and the common diseases affecting the thyroid gland. Thank you.